Alex, your fashion designer slash multiple different other things. Today I'm going to show you how to use Photoshop to create textile design. I have already created a video for beginners textile design in Photoshop, which was pretty basics, and you can check it out right here. But for today, we're doing a much more advanced, there are even more advanced way to do it, but I'm using a little bit more advanced tool today to show you how I created this print, which is right here. Now, it's still quite simple. I didn't use watercolor techniques, so I probably will do another video for that one, but still, I will show you how I got to this motif right here. So let's go right here. Before anything, I want to show you all my layers so you can understand which is what. I won't have to draw everything one by one. That video would take like 30 minutes for that. So I'm kind of fixing my mic a little bit. Sorry about that. Okay, so here is where we are. I don't know if you notice, I've named all my layers because, trust me, it helps. Because otherwise, if say for instance I had many more little elements in between and I don't name any of them, now I'm confused, I don't know which is what. So it helps for you to name your layer whenever you're working. So I'm going to turn off every single one of them and I will explain it as I go. Okay, the single layer, I have some single flowers that I have created, and you can notice that they are all around, and it's technically two flowers, not four. This flower right here, it's showing you the top of the flower, but you still need the bottom. So right on top, I showed the bottom of the flower. Unfortunately, if you're a tedious person just like me, sometimes you want to know at which point to stop certain. So if you have your guide, it kind of helps a little bit for you to know exactly where to place certain thing. It will let you know because you can measure it that way. Sometimes I'm good at eyeballing if the design is not too complicated, at knowing at which point to stop. So if I'm stopping at this specific pink spot right there, I know that my second copied flower has to stop at the same spot so that they can match perfectly and they're not unalign or disalign, if that's the proper word. And this, I'm going to switch back to my cursor. This flower right here is the same flower as this one. However, it's flipped horizontally so that I can fill the space both vertically and horizontally. Or vertically and horizontally. I'm showing you the reverse. Okay. So that would be your single flowers. Now, I also have some flower bunches, and that's where this single flower layer came in because I had to create the bunch. It was not full enough, so I added, you know, these little flowers. I added some extensions of them, shrank them, enlarged them, and did my own little twist to it, and placed it in the center. Now, I have this exactly in the center because, of course, I'm trying to fill the empty spaces, and that's why I did it like that. And of course, my corners, because I don't want to leave my pattern empty like that. I mean, I could if that's what I'm going for, but that is not technically what I want. So I did the four corners. Now, these flowers, 1, 2, 3, 4, are not four flowers. It's technically one flower, but I'm showing the same flower on four corners. If I were to cut this material, then you would see the flower. So in other words, how do I explain it? It's almost like you have one flower, you divided it by four, and you put each of them in a corner to completely create the flower. So this right here would be the top part of that flower, and that would be the left side of this, and this would be the right side of that, and that would be the bottom for this. So technically it's the same flower, but you're just showing it in multiple different angles so that when you create your final pattern, all of them can match together to create that one single flower. Essentially, it's going to become this flower, really. So as you can tell, I named them so I can know which is which. Flower bunch top, so that's the top of the flower. Flower bunch bottom, that's the bottom of the flower. And flower bunch center, of course, is the main centerpiece. And that's my final motif. Now, to save this motif. It's created, but the computer or the Photoshop memory has not registered it yet as a pattern. So to register it, you have to image and edit, you have to go to edit and define the pattern so that the computer can know, oh, okay, a pattern was created. So I will define the pattern. Of course, I had already done this video multiple different occasions because I was trying to figure out which videos can capture to use. So advanced demo YouTube, I couldn't name it like that. I'm just going to leave it as is and click save. Actually, I'm going to have it saved twice because I did it so many times. Okay, so I could create a file new page, but I don't want to because it's going to slow down my computer when I have too many pages and too many tabs open in Photoshop. What I did, I created a layer and filled it with the pattern, and that's how the pattern looked like. You can manipulate the pattern to look a different way, but let me show you how I got to that part. So we've already defined the pattern, so it's in the memory of the system right now. So I'm going to create a new layer. Notice that this pattern is transparent. If this is the look you're going for, by all means do it, but you will not be able to fill it with a pattern because technically you need a solid base to apply your pattern on. So to put in a solid base, we can go ahead and edit and fill it with a color. Fill it with a color, not because the color will show, but just fill it with a color because you need something to sustain the pattern on. So let's just put, okay, so now we fill it white. Now that we have our base, we're going to layer style, pattern overlay. If you must write it down, please do. It's something that once you get used to it, you just remember where they are. But if you're a beginner and you want to learn certain advanced tools to create textile, write them down. Pattern overlay. Once you get to pattern overlay, as you can tell, it's already pre-saved it on the pattern because, like I said, I've been trying to do a screen capture with this for so long. So it saved it twice. I don't need it twice. I delete one. So essentially, all your patterns will be here from all the creation that you've done. Of course, your motif, not the whole pattern, only the motif. So this is the one we just created. Sometimes the computer will have the thumbnail really small. I like to keep them large so I know what I'm working with. So that's why I choose large thumbnails. And once you get to that, do not click OK right away. Manipulate your scale because sometimes you may want your print to be huge. Sometimes you want it to be small. It all depends on what you're looking for. I think I like it like this, so I'm going to leave it like that. And do not touch the opacity. Leave it at normal because right now it's on, because remember, it's on a white fabric. If it was on a different color fabric and you drop the opacity, the fabric behind would show through. If that's the design you're going for, I've seen some designers and textile apprentices do it the same way. If that's what you're looking for, by all means do it. But for the purpose of this video, I'm going to leave it at 100% opacity because I do not want to show the background color that we've chosen. And I'm going to click OK. And there we go. The pattern is ready.